The Tempo. Skywalker. The Tempo.
Sir smokes a lot.
It's actually some good weed, okay?
Yeah. You know, Forest Creek, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no. Golly. All right, welcome everybody to the Tempo Show, Tempopodtv. We have Miss Quibee. Merriman?
Just Miss Quibee was fine. You had to start it over because you gave all the government. Miss Quibee was fine.
So, I've known Miss Quibee for quite a while, in some years. She's a soul singer, a environmental enthusiast, Black Power militant gangster, I would say. How you doing today?
Yeah, after that introduction, I'm well.
Wow, you shit. So, you know, it's funny. We were just talking today. I was actually going to ask you about the band thing, because I figured that you've always been kind of in and out with the bands and stuff. Like, so currently you ain't with a band?
No, currently I'm doing my own thing. I'm freelancing.
Freelancing. Why would you do that? Like, what's wrong with kind of sticking with one band?
There's nothing wrong with sticking with one band.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Beyonce. Well, right here in the DMV, that shit is like being with the same sorry ass broke nigga forever. I'm tired. So.
No, I definitely know what you're talking about. I mean, like I used to do the whole little go-go band thing. I used to do the go-go band thing back in the day, and one of the serious problems we always used to have was just trying to come together. You know what I'm saying? Like, number one, trying to get everybody to come to practice on time. Then from having everybody come to practice on time, then we got to practice the songs. And nobody really has, like, let's say the original structure of how you really build a band. Like, I'm good at the keys. I'm good with the drums. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to sit here for hours and hours and just play until we come up with something. A lot of the bands back in the day, we used to just buy studio time and practice there. That shit was the worst. You know what I'm saying? It always came out fucking trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, what are like some of the problems that you see when it comes to bands and shit?
All of them that you just named, as well as people don't. I'm specifically talking about, and I'm only speaking on the DMV right now.
Right.
Go-go music. I'm gonna make a very bold statement. You're probably gonna piss a whole lot of people off. I don't give a fuck. Go-go music is some trash for the most part. And most of the key players and most of the famous people in go-go are fucking trash. Not only that,
famous people like who?
I mean the DC, the go-go famous people in this area. Like nobody should know who the fuck Miss Kim is. I'm sorry. No, and it's no bullshit. Do you know who Yanni is?
Yanni? No.
Right. You ain't no motherfucking way we supposed to know who Kim is if you don't know who Yanni is. You know who Miss Yendi is? No fucking way.
I don't know.
Do you know who Miss Yendi is? No fucking way. But y'all know who Miss Kim is?
No.
I know who Miss Kim is.
Okay, well he said he don't know, so I mean, well, I don't know.
I mean, I'm a little bit, you know, he's younger than me. So
yeah, 91, baby.
It don't matter, but my daughter know who it is.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I really ain't no go-go, you know what I mean? Like, hey.
I'm not a, listen, don't get it twisted. I'm not a go-go buff either. And that's why a lot of people have problems with me. Because my music is the same as my food. I eat everything. So I'm not going to be stuck in a box when it comes to music. DC has put themselves in a fucking box on purpose and won't leave on purpose. The only big names that we have that came from this area that I actually respect are Sugar Bear and Chuck Brown.
Well,
because they actually ventured out, did their own shit. Yeah. Even if they weren't playing original music, they were playing the B-side of shit that people thought that they were on. These bands that are top, I'm sorry.
All right, so I'm going to say this. I think that the reason why, let's say, go-go hasn't gone mainstream, I would say, is because a majority of the bands that are popular are, they don't make number one, they don't make original music. You know what I'm saying? Like their music, even if it is original, they'll splice in a hook from a popular song that's out here and there, and then the structure of go-go is like, the structure of go-go doesn't translate into radio. You know what I'm saying? So with any, like, so for example,
that's not true.
No, it really doesn't, because, all right, check this out.
So how do you explain Jill Scott Is Love? It's a fucking platinum hit.
But that was structured properly, though.
Still go-go.
It is go-go, but what I'm saying, we're talking about it generally. We're talking about generally for most bands, right? If you listen to most music, how it's not structured like a song would be structured. So, for example, you would come in, you would probably have a little bit of rapping, a little bit of talking, then you would have the hook. You know what I'm saying? Or you would come in with the actual, you know, the lyrics, the bass line or whatever. Then you would have the hook, then you would have another chord, have another bass line, then you would have another hook. You know what I'm saying? So
you sounded like one of these DC.
No, I'm just
no, listen.
No, I'm keeping it. No,
who gave you that formula?
What do you, the formula?
You never heard a song that didn't have that formula? Listen,
all right, there are variations. No, but that's what I'm saying. It's variations of the formula. It's variations of the formula, but it is still the same formula. You know what I'm saying? That's reason number one, I would say. That's
verse, hook,
the struggle.
Bridge,
those things, like it's a lot of, like, and one thing I can appreciate is the call and response that go-go tends to have, like, where they interact with the crowd, and then the crowd interacts with, you know what I'm saying, with the band.
I do that in R&B sets.
Right. That's what I could say that go-go relies heavily on it, but I do appreciate that. What I'm saying is that, like, all right, so number one, like, the structure doesn't fit all the way. Number two, you would have number one. All right, so when you listen to the radio, it's most go-go bands don't put forth the effort to, let's say, make mainstream studio quality type of music. So what they'll do is they'll take a recording from a live show that they went to, you know what I'm saying? Which isn't pleasant to the ears. If you aren't, like, let's say, familiar with go-go, it's not pleasant to the ears for people who don't, let's say, aren't intertwined in go-go. So for example, like, you would have, like, especially, like, you know, I like the younger too. I like younger, I guess, like TCB, CCB, all of them. Those motherfuckers rock. And I fuck with RE and Junkyard as well. But the only problem is, like, the only problem I really see is that it never really, it doesn't sound good to hear, like, the outside ambiance of the live recording. Like, nobody's really trying to hear that, especially when it translates to playing in your earphones, running, with doing whatever you want to do. Go-go doesn't really translate for mainstream audience like that, and so that's why I see why it hasn't, let's say, necessarily, caught on mainstream. Also, there's also the factor that PG County and DC have made laws that were intended to shut go-go's down. Like, I would say that, number one, the only go-go that's really out right now, that the only go-go bands I would say that are still flourishing are older go-go bands. You know what I'm saying? Older ones. So you got, like, Backyard, Junkyard, RE, those people that still, you know, they're going to have a crowd until these 34-year-olds turn into 60-year-olds and they're not going to the club no more. And, you know what I'm saying? That style of music will die. And so the younger generation, they rely heavily on, like, going, like, you know what I'm saying, being able to promote themselves through clubs. Like back in the day, I would say, like, between 2005 to 2009, Reaction, CCB, they really had a following. But then they enacted all the, like, if you remember, like, they like it was a lot of, shootouts and all of that happening at the go-go club. So what they did was they started putting extra little licensing on like clubs that were going to have go-go bands play, and that essentially shut everything down after 2009. It essentially shut everything down. Like most of the bands that end up playing are bands that are going to guarantee bring a following and guarantee aren't going to bring that younger crowd. So if you're not placating to the younger crowd, there's no way that go-go is going to be able to survive. And I would say that it's almost dead at this moment. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're still going to find, you can still go to a junk show, a backyard show, whatever you want to call it. But once those people die out, that's it. It's a wrap. Go-go will be done. I mean, the younger generation they have nothing to hold on to call their own. Let's say the ones that are 15, 16, because that's really when they say you love, the music that you love forever is the music that you'll hear between the ages of 14 to 22, I believe. Mm-hmm. So the younger generation isn't even, there's no go-go music that is trending towards them. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I like the whole go-go scene is just not, it's gonna die. I say probably within the next 5-10 years.
You just rambled like shit and went all the way fucking left on the question that wasn't even asked. But I'm going to try to hit on a whole lot of the bullshit you just said.
All right.
And what I keep hearing when I go to these bands, listen, that's the problem. You just named a problem not only with BC go-go bands, but with fucking black people. Everybody is making fucking money off of you except for you. You just said that go-go is not playing mainstream. Go-go since the fucking butt, since Salt and Pepper used this shit. You have fucking Soldier right now, a white boy band that are doing go-go rock music. Everybody is making money off of go-go except these motherfuckers. You haven't?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so again, this is so this is the problem with DC niggas too. You got motherfuckers that's listening to R&B and rap all day long and then want to argue with me about music. Nigga, I listen to bluegrass, Jimi Hendrix. Now, you got this man on your wall, and I ain't trying to set you up.
You talking about
Name
bluegrass.
one song of this man's.
Oh, I can name a song of it.
Right.
I mean, I like
you
the way,
shouldn't be debating fucking music and talking about go-go ain't going nowhere. That shouldn't even be a subject.
I don't think anybody could look at go-go and say it'll be here in 10, 15 years.
It's music. That's
won't.
Like somebody looking at food and saying motherfuckers ain't gonna be eating in 20 years.
All right. Barring some new band that explodes.
Listen. Your heartbeat is the first music you heard. Your fucking music is not going anywhere ever. We fucking live off of.
There are genres of music that eventually die, like bluegrass.
Bluegrass is people still play bluegrass.
Okay,
there are people like me that still like bluegrass.
Okay, all right. And I'm sure
it's not
still
popular.
Play on the ukulele and some of the old.
And there are places that those people are making money.
In a broad population standard, aspect, it's not.
Something not being popular doesn't mean it's dead.
Oh, it's pretty. I mean,
doesn't mean it's dead.
I mean, in the sense I'm talking about, like as far as it. I mean, okay, so you're
because
still
you're putting a dollar
very,
amount on music, which makes that shit worthless as far as mine.
I'm talking about listening. Like, I mean, if a couple thousand people listen to whatever particular song, you could pretty much call it.
Millions of people are listening to fucking Cardi B right now. You're not gonna tell me it's because she's good.
Rap.
It's bullshit.
That's rap.
It's bullshit. It shows you the state of the mind of the fucking people right now. What's selling? The reason why bluegrass is dead and all of these other great genres of music are dying is because these motherfucking drug addicts are dictating what plays on the radio. That's why fucking Cardi B. That's why y'all done some bullshit. That's why you know who Miss Kim is and you don't know who fucking Yendi or Yanni is. Exactly. I am just serious.
Look, that speaks to a good point.
Okay, but again, no, listen, and we're gonna be respectful here too. If I listen to you ramble for 5 minutes,
oh my God, go ahead.
Give my 5 minutes.
All right, go ahead, I'm listening.
So again, I keep running into this problem. I mean, I'm just give you my own personal experience from the time I started this band shit, the singing shit, to right now, 2018, 2000 and maybe. It's 18, so it would have been like 2006, 7, somewhere around in there. I got a call from somebody who was doing a go-go band. I went out there. I've never been able, to sing in front of large crowds of people or nothing like that. I was always shy because I sung under my brother and sister. which a lot of people don't know. Let me shout out to Miss Moody real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows that Christmas song, Santa Claus is coming to town. Right. That's my sister. So because she did that, I was kind of scared to do shit behind her, so I never sung. Make a long story short, whenever I got this call to come out and audition for this band, they were called Certified Funk. They were a popular band back in the day. These were a couple of older guys getting back together, you know, doing a band thing or whatever. So I got with them, and we went in the basement and we practiced for, you know, whatever many months. We never had any shows, anything like that. Our first show was packed, perfect, and all of that stuff. But we started doing shows on a consistent basis, and we weren't getting paid. And if we did get paid, you got 10 motherfuckers in the band. So a $200 show, everybody getting $10, $15, and you done been to practice 15 motherfucking times this month, and I'm driving from Capitol Heights to Waldorf. It's seriously, like, this is where I learned, like, this shit is ass backwards, man. So I went to the band practice and everything. I did the whole grinding thing, and I remember asking them, like, well, damn, why we ain't getting paid? And I heard then, man, we know we gotta get a name for ourselves. You know, we gotta, you know, do a couple free shows, you know, a couple promotions, whatever. So I was with that shit then. That was 10 years ago. I was with it. So from there, I kept moving from band to band to band to band, and I kept hearing the same thing. But each time I'm moving from band to band to band, my craft, I'm getting better at my craft. I'm getting better at what I do.
Right.
Not only that, I went to a show. I had a show. I played with some older cats. They called me to do a show in Ohio for some guy's 60th birthday party or whatever. And they paid us $400 a piece, paid for our transportation, hotel, food, and drinks to come out there one night, do a show. You know, that's like, I don't even want to be too nasty and too ratchet.
No.
But you understand, that's like sending the baddest bitch with the wettest pussy home to drive you home. Your girl telling her to take you home. Nigga, you don't do that. I'm not coming back to D.C. and take $20 to $30 for a show no more. You understand? Like, they fucked up the whole game. Well, hold up. They didn't know my name, and I've had niggas for the last 10 years telling me I had to build a name before I got this type of money.
Right.
These folks didn't know who the fuck I was. And they gave me $400 a piece, and it was 9 of us. So I come back to D.C. again. I said, okay, well, you know, we do the band thing again, and still going to these shows. We do. I remember doing Tacoma Station with a band every fucking Wednesday for like 3 months straight for free. The promoters tell us, show up, y'all get there an hour early. You there anywhere, you at a fucking bar an hour early, you're buying a drink, you're buying some food. Like, they making money, everybody's fucking making money but us. And I keep hearing, everybody keeps saying, you gotta put your name out there, you got your name out there. And you know when I started, that's what I told y'all when I was coming in here. I started that shit, then I'm not keep trying to tell the motherfucker, I need to make a name. My mama gave me my name 43 motherfucking years ago. I don't need to make no name for myself. So once I got to the point where I had done so much with so many bands, now my product is out there. Now people don't have to ask, well, I don't know what you can do. I don't know what you can do. You pull it up. Go type in Miss Quibee. There's my product. Nigga, pay me. If not, then we're good. I'm okay with missing that show. I'm okay with not getting that promotion that y'all talking about. And this is another thing. I'm sorry. Listen, I would rather play for 10 people with $1,000 in their pocket than to play for 500 motherfuckers with $1 in their pocket. DC is steady catering to broke motherfuckers. That's why y'all won't play a Mitchell music either, because y'all scared as a motherfucker. You scared and have absolutely no confidence in yourself. That's another thing. I hear so many times, I go with music, we can't play that because that ain't playing on the radio. The shit that's playing on the radio wasn't playing on the fucking radio the first time it played on the fucking radio either. But this shit is now popular.
Hey, look, and you know, I agree with you. I felt like if let's say go-go bands, go-go artists had really, let's say, just like you had the confidence enough to take their own, like, make their own original music, original sound.
Chuck and E, you did it. That's why they were forever legends.
They did, though. They did. You know, and so you could say that's kind of a new generational band thing, but you're absolutely right on that. And that was the biggest thing for me, because it would be like, I remember like going down south, and like when I was in college and stuff, and so I'm them niggas don't know nothing about it. They don't know nothing about it. When they hear it, they always talking about some motherfucking trash can banging and all that other stuff, and you know they actually, as they started hanging out with me, they could get with the instrumental part.
Cause it's African music.
Right, yeah, it's real shit. But they bigger shit be like, son, why are they fucking spitting the shit that's on the radio? They fucking it up. You know what I'm saying? I be like, yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And because you know, I had loved go-go so much, I was like, I mean, shit, that shit don't bother me at all. But like,
Does it bother you at all because you just like everything else? You've been so indoctrinated. Did I have motherfuckers argue with me? We know who Genghis is. Listen, and I know again. Man, listen, that's y'all man. Fuck Big G. He's a fucking human being like I am. No, when I say
why I gotta be
no,
fuck
listen,
Big G,
listen,
dog?
because I realize when I say
G.
stuff about people be like, oh man, she said something. That nigga's a human like I am. Why y'all be dick riding? DC, oh my God, these are some of the dick ridingest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. But I'm gonna say this again. There should be no reason why we should know who Big G's name is, but we don't know the young lady that actually sung that song. This man has no talent other than fucking talking and having a nice voice. We should not know his fucking name, and we don't know the Congo player.
You gotta give some respect to Big G.
I give respect for him doing what he does, but again, we're riding the wrong shit. If he does not have a band behind him, who the fuck is Big G? If Big G was never with a go-go band, who the fuck is Big G? The Congo player is still a nice motherfucker. The drummer's still a nice motherfucker. Keyboard player still a nice motherfucker. Who is Big G? Who the fuck is? I can go right now as a singer on the street and sing a cappella and make music. Can G go on the motherfucking street and go hold them songs? It's motherfuckers gonna drop money in a bucket for him saying that. But he's more famous than the people that's been behind him the whole time. That man more famous than Wincy, and that man got a talent.
Yeah,
one
thing you can say, absolutely, I do agree with that, because Wincy, you can't argue his singing ability was
it's a bunch of dick riders because he was on The Wire. The nigga's not even a good actor. He fucking sucks. Oh my God, yeah. Like, come on, man, don't tell me you're on the Pam Grier wagon. Motherfuckers in here. We know who Pam Grier is. Get the fuck out of here. There's no reason why I should. Do you know who Pam Grier is?
Of course I know who Pam Grier is.
You young, you just said
the finest one of the finest.
There's no reason you should know that woman's name. What do you know her to do as an actor?
Right.
You gotta be kidding me. Have you ever watched anything, woman? Have you ever watched Foxy Brown?
I mean, look.
So you tell me
I've seen Foxy Brown now.
Tell me y'all think she's a good actress.
It ain't. I mean, I can't. I can't bring it back that much to think that she's a good actress or not. I remember it, but I wasn't analyzing.
I'm 43. I know it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to tell you. I know it. She fucking sucks. Fucking sucks. She fucking sucks. But because we pushed and shit is shoved down your throat and you were told this is what popular, this is what talent is, we actually believe that shit and nobody will question it because you scared to be attacked. And I don't give a fuck. Big G has no fucking talent. None. Like, why the fuck are you famous? Why in the fuck don't we know your keyboard player's name? This nigga's like that. Why don't we know your drummer's name as much as we know yours? These are the people, once again, a keyboard player can go down to DC right now. There's drummers out there. They doing it by themselves. Keyboard players doing it by themselves. Guitar players doing it by themselves. I've even done it by myself. When the fuck, what is Big G? What is his talent? We don't, that's not even
there is a talent. Like, there is actually, that's one thing that you can't, alright, so if we're talking about what his talent is, I would think, like, and I learned this from being a lead mic for a band for a brief moment, is that being able to, the lead mic of a band coordinates the band. All right, it would be like similar to a conductor of like an orchestra. So the person that's doing this, like he plays a role.
I get what you're saying.
He plays a role, and he has a talent.
Listen, I'm asking one question. Can that band exist without him?
It's hard to say. I would say no.
Nigga, I'm gonna say yes. I do it all the fucking time. I play without Big G. Nigga, my shit sounds good.
Number one.
He has you about to say something. That's not a talent. That's something he was fucking.
That is a talent.
So my ass is a talent because I got a nice ass. You want to see? I got a nice ass. Is that a talent? No. We're talking his voice.
Having a distinct voice and being
having
able to
a nice voice. Can he sing with it? Can he sing? He's just talking.
Okay.
He's just fucking talking. So once again, I can give you those. That's not a fucking talent. Nobody's gonna pay you unless you're doing. Nigga, you're not doing voiceovers. You actually doing music, and you're more popular for music than you are for those things that you should be doing. Yet the musicians that are behind you that are really making your voice doesn't sound good just by. I don't want to hear fucking G say hold up, soft. I don't want to hear that shit alone. But I can listen to his band all day long without hearing him say hold 'em sauce.
Well, look, you bring up a good point as far as like the
DC is dick riders.
Well, I would say you bring up a good point as far as the music goes, where we're talking about like the lead talker. Now, imagine, because this is why they don't call the lead Mike a rapper. They call the lead talker because
the nigga can't even rap. Like, get the fuck, like, nigga, you can't even rap.
Right.
And here's the thing, again, just like I was that scared little person in the corner, I ain't know nothing about holding the one. I ain't know nothing about breaking the band and controlling them. I know that now.
What do you think about Los? Do you think Los is a good rapper?
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Los is the rapper on the nigga the short light skinned nigga that was that's the rapper in Backyard. You don't.
Okay, I've seen him a couple times. Yeah, he's a rapper. Yeah, he has a talent.
I mean, he's alright. I didn't even go.
I won't say that he has a nice flow.
He freestyles, and that brings me up to the next
he freestyles like
that's the part I do not. That's the part I do not like about. I do not like about Go-Go. As far as that's why I think that it can never go. Well, why it didn't go mainstream is because when the rappers, especially because it gets a lot of its elements, a lot of its core elements from rap and things of that nature, they freestyle on every song. So there's no specific,
I would rather hear that than you constantly repeating somebody else's shit.
This is what I'm saying about the mainstream. If you don't make a consistent lyric that people can recite.
Okay, no, I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got
so if you don't make a consistent lyric that people can recite and vibe with, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then you're not. Then it takes away from the music.
Well, no, I'm gonna say because of that, I'm gonna give a halfway pass for that. It's no need for me to like seriously write.
It's not following the structure of music.
No, that's not what I'm saying. It's no need for me to put that much energy in somebody else's song. If I'm writing my own song, then yeah, I'm putting a consistent rap. I can do the fuck I want to if I'm doing your song every night. That's your shit. I'm not getting paid off. They don't get paid off of those covers. Fuck, they not even getting paid off. Like.
Now we
wait a minute, before I miss
talking about Backyard, they was getting big money for a long time. They be getting solid money.
What's big money to you?
Look, Go going mainstream, and I'm talking about it on a macro population type of level. We're not talking about smaller in the hood people that you know type of experience. So when I'm saying mainstream, it's not mainstream at all. Like you could say it's almost the furthest thing. It's less. You could say Baltimore fucking club music is almost more mainstream, or New Orleans booty music is more mainstream than Go-Go.
It actually is. It actually is. When's the last time you've heard Go-Go in a commercial? Every time you see a Popeye's chicken commercial, you hear New Orleans music.
Yeah, but that's not Go-Go though.
You said like saying that New Orleans music.
I'm saying that it's more mainstream than Go-Go is. That's what I was saying.
That's my whole point. And why do you think that is?
I mean, I don't.
You know what, too? And let me tell you something. You go down to New Orleans right now. You have to pay them cats. Every musician that you run across, they don't do the shit that we do up here. Them motherfuckers get paid. It's you ever heard of Trombone Shorty?
Fuck no.
This dude is like requested at every fucking funeral in New Orleans. Like, come on. See, okay.
That's still a micro. We still talking. That's still a micro level. You talking about somebody who is popular in New York?
Listen, you asking me to break down a big pile of shit into little pockets of shit. It's all shit. It's all the same shit. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. We're asking a question. New Orleans music, they know about that shit in Africa. They know about that in China.
They know a little bit about Go-Go.
They know a lot about it. They know a lot about it. And actually, they got introduced to it because of Chuck and EU. After they stopped, Genghis is still doing what? Now, Genghis, I will give him this. They took niggas to Africa. That was just happenstance. You know, the prince of Nigeria, of Ife, was actually there at a show and got them there. But I've always said go-go music is a direct connection to African music. So that wasn't long before that would happen. But I'm not going to say that was because of Genghis. That African man heard the same thing that I heard when I moved here from South Carolina. He heard those congas and those timbales and those drums playing a beat that he had never heard before. It was not Genghis' voice, I promise you.
Okay.
If Genghis had been standing up there doing that shit to some rap music, they wouldn't have never made it to Africa. So it's not, this is what I'm saying. There's no reason why a man's voice should be more popular than a whole fucking genre of music.
Alright.
And
Yeah.
that's what the problem is with us. We make the dumbest shit the most popular shit. I get into arguments constantly with people about how good music is based on how much money they made from it.
Yeah,
That's the dumbest shit ever.
Alright, so speaking of you getting into arguments with people, you have, and that's another reason why I wanted you on the show. You have one of the most interesting Facebooks that I've ever been a part of or been friends with. You strike me as a very controversial character, and you tend to, or at least in the past, you have definitely gone back and forth with people on Facebook. I guess my question would be like, why is it that you feel like motherfucker? Why do you feel the need to go hard on niggas on Facebook like that?
Okay, first of all, it's called social media.
Mm-hmm.
And you will not see me on anybody else's page going hard. You see this shit where?
Facebook, I would say.
No, where do you see this though? You see it on your page? See it on his page?
I mean, we're friends, so yeah, I would see you comment on it.
Listen, I need you to say that key word for you. You see the shit on my page, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, usually what happens, just like happens in life.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel. Just because I feel that does not mean that you have to change what the fuck you feel for today. Okay? But I think because my opinion is usually the most unpopular, the motherfuckers have to respond. And just like my life, I've caught in so many fucking court cases and arrest charges and shit. Because motherfuckers expect for me not to say nothing. They expect to be able to bully this little girl and the shit don't turn out that way. It's the same thing. I've learned to now stop catching charges and just fry a motherfucker heart out with my tongue.
All right, so that kind of leads me into one of the other things I wanted to talk to you about. All right, so I remember I posted a post by Ben Shapiro, and what Ben Shapiro was talking about was basically that it's one of the big topics that's going on here today. The transgender movement, right? The transgender movement, and well, not necessarily just the transgender movement, but the whole LGBTQ plus minus whatever else they done added on the joint. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a big topic in political and social debates going on right now. So anyway, I posted a post by Ben Shapiro where he was talking about basically talking about the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, right? And he was saying that basically they just started calling the Scouts because there was political pressure on, you know, well, girls can do whatever and da 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 da. And so one particular woman in that particular video was like, basically like that you don't respect transgender rights, and do you not understand that a woman who thinks she's a man who thinks she is a woman is actually a woman? And so basically Ben Shapiro was just like, no, okay, you can think what you want and you can live the way that you want, but the truth of the matter is that you are, if you were born a man with the XY chromosome and the penis, you are a man. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. You can believe whatever the fuck you want, but you are a man. And so I remember you were going back and forth with one of my Facebook friends. I believe her name is Chelsea Land, and hopefully I'm gonna get her on the show because we definitely have a lot to talk about. But basically, she was defending the fact that if a man thinks that if a man, if somebody was born, let's say, what's the proper term, a cisgender man, or a man was born a man and thinks that they're a woman.
The proper term
they are
is
now
if they're
a
born
woman.
with a fucking mental disorder. That's the proper term.
That was they called it gender
shit.
dysphoria. Right.
That fucking disorder.
You went back and forth with Shorty for a minute until I guess Shorty got tired of you going hard on it. What is your feelings on the whole transgender movement and the whole queer LGBTQ?
It's all genocide. It's all genocide. Period. And I don't have any feelings on it.
When you say genocide, what do you mean by that?
Motherfucker, you reproducing if you're not. If you motherfuckers are confused about what you are.
You're confused about what you are. Right, so
here's the thing too. You know what I'm saying? You know what the real crazy part about it is? You confused motherfuckers wouldn't be here to be confused if a man and a woman didn't make you. Okay? So whoever else you're gonna be loving, a man and a woman made them too. Now if your confused ass try to make some kids, it's gonna take a man and a woman to make them too. I don't give a fuck what you feel. Okay? I would like to be a white woman on some days so I can go in the store and get some shit on some, without harassment.
Right.
That ain't working for me. Nobody give a fuck what I feel. I give a fuck what you feel. You either XX or you XY. That's that. Or you both because your ass is a chimera or you a fucking hermaphrodite. Which there's given different names because it's a fucking disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why we keep arguing about this? I'm not
I mean, it's an argument that's happening a lot now. One thing I could say is that, like, and I was actually talking to my mother about it, and hopefully, I can get on the show one day. My mom's a real intelligent woman, so she's kind of intimidating to have a conversation with. But her point was that basically, if it's not for, she was saying that it wasn't for her to say because. Number one, the pain and tribulations that, let's say, the transgender movement, the transgender people tend to go through, like, it must be something to it. Like, she doesn't make any confirmations on it, but she said it must be something to it because if you're willing to, let's say, before you even start getting surgery and trying to transform yourself into a woman, if you're willing to go through 18 months of taking hormones and dealing with a lot of the shit, like, like there must be something to it. Now I'll say
have a mental disorder.
Maybe
some of my patients will sit and bang their head into a wall. Does that mean I should support their disorder? Because there has to be something. Like I should.
And I've said before, and I'll probably say it a lot. Look, I kind of feel the same way in a certain sense that it's like, look. At the end of the day, like I'm like basically 5 foot nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm 5'3" sometimes, 5'5" with some solid Nike boots on. So if I feel like inside that I should have been a tall ass nigga, just because I feel like inside I should be tall doesn't mean you have to call me LeBron James. Nor does it mean that you have to look up at me every time you walk by.
Okay,
me.
now
So it's like I get what you're saying.
That's something totally different.
No, it's the same analogy. Like,
no, it's
if
not.
you want me to refer to, just because you
if there was a surgery that you could get that made you taller, you would actually be taller.
Okay.
There is no surgery that can change your fucking DNA. Until they come up with that, I'm not going to respect that. You are speaking against science. You can, I don't know if there is a surgery to make you taller, but they can do that. You would actually be taller.
I mean, they could give me they could break your legs.
If I want to be a fat, guess what? If I want to be, I'm skinny right now. If I want to be a fat woman, I can eat. You're going to have to call me fat when I get fat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to call you a woman. I'm never going to address you as a woman. I don't give a fuck what you do to your dick, your titties, your beard, your eye. I don't give a fuck. You're never going to be a woman. I'm never going to give you that. Ever. That's no different than a white motherfucker sitting here telling me they want to be black all of a sudden and I'm watching it make the change. I'm never going to fucking respect you. Especially if you just happen to do that shit when it's convenient for you at the time.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning, y'all motherfuckers are cool with being like Bruce Jenner. Motherfucker, why didn't you choose to be a woman before you won the Olympics and you got all these accolades as a man? Cause you a coward, nigga. You wait till everybody else fought that fight. You wait till everybody else got embarrassed and picked that and ostracized.
Look, you make a solid point. And this is what I'm saying. I'm not, as far as my opinion, I'm not fully, I haven't read any serious research. Not just putting that shit on Google and the whole idea of whatever the fuck. I haven't seen any serious research that actually convinces me about the transgender movement. One thing that I do know that is bullshit is this queer binary movement. Okay? This idea and this is actually to me
bullshit.
Right, but like the idea that now they've gone to the point where they're saying now that, which to me it goes contrary to the transgender movement, is that there is no biological or intrinsic differences between male and female. Everything is a social construct. So these people that they call themselves, this is the plus.
Why do you have a dick and I have a pussy?
I understand.
What the fuck did
But
they
this,
like? Come on,
all right.
man.
So this is the ideology on it. So basically, that
I know,
this is
you
the
don't have
queer
to explain it, but I know. But
right, I'm gonna explain it for the people real quick.
Okay.
So basically, if you're queer or plus, I may be wrong, but to my understanding, if you're queer or you're plus, basically the idea is that there are no intrinsic differences between male and female, and that you can call what they call, there's now gender, there's cisgender, which is regular people, which is you were born a man and you think you're a man. Then there's transgender, which is you were born a man or a woman and you identify with the other class, right? Then there's the gender blender, right? I'm not making this shit up, on God.
Mm-hmm.
Gender blender and binary movement. So gender blender is to my understanding is one day you can be a male and the next day you can be a female. It just depends on what you feel, because the idea of gender is a social construct. Wow. And I want to get somebody on here that could really explain to me how in the world that fucking makes sense. But like basically the idea is that, like, all right, so I could be a male today, I could be a female today. That shit is just bullshit.
It's all a setup for one thing. It's actually all set up for two things. All of that shit you're saying is a setup. Every argument that all of these people are making, and I said it before. I was naturally born to sing. I was naturally born a fighter. I learned a long time ago, and I told you, people ask me, how do you learn how to control the band so much of it? It's not that I learned how to control them. I learned to walk around my mistakes. But those were things I was learned, like I was naturally born to do, right? So if we making the argument, we're going to keep making this argument, this is how I was born, this is how I was born. This is all setting up for pedophilia. This is all setting up for fucking pedophilia. Because at the end of the day, we all know that we don't give a fuck what adults do. I don't give a fuck who you fucking when I leave here. I don't give a fuck. But I do care what my children see. I do care what happens to my children more than I care what happens to any adult. Even my mama, I care more what happens to my children than my own mama. Right? If we're going to keep making this argument that I'm born this way, and they're getting closer to it, and we watched it happen. I said this shit years ago. I wish people could go back to my Facebook.
You know, Umar Johnson kind of.
I wish even before Umar. I'm gonna start right now. I should have been doing this shit a long time ago, because I feel I've been a fucking philanthropist for real. I said this shit years ago when I first heard it. This was probably like in 2006, motherfucking 5. They setting up for pedophilia. When you let a motherfucker say this is how I was born, so you should give me rights. Technically, they're right. Okay, this is how we're born. Ain't nothing we can do about that. That don't mean I got to let your ass live out here. But if that's your argument, then we have to let the pedophiles have the same fucking rights that we just gave them gays. If we gave the gays rights, their complete argument was I was born this way. I was born this way and I can't control this, which I agree with. Something gotta be wrong with you do want to fuck. I'm gonna say it. I agree with you on that, nigga. Something wrong with you, right? I believe the same thing about a pedophile. Something gotta be wrong with you as a 4-year-old fucking 40-year-old man to want to fuck a 4-year-old child. Something has gotta be mentally fucked up wrong with you. But I have to believe that that's something that's just in you. That's not something you want to do. That's not something you're choosing to do. That's some shit that's actually in you, right? So they can actually use the same argument that the transgender and the LGBTQ, ZRSY, whatever the fuck community is using. Mm-hmm. They using the same argument. Here's that. Listen, another unpopular opinion. Let them. I say give the pedophiles their fucking based on that argument alone. Based on that argument.
If you believe in that argument, that's what you're saying. If you believe in that argument.
Again, I believe in that argument. Something is wrong with you. That's not something.
That's not the argument. They're not saying that.
They're saying they were born that way.
They were born that way.
No, I believe that. I believe that. I believe. First of all, nobody's born any kind of way. I'm not the same motherfucking color. None of us are even the same color that we was born. We ain't the same height that we was born, or none of that shit. You're gonna grow and change, and shit is just gonna, get into you. Just not gonna get into everybody else. Mm-hmm. There are people that develop allergies. There are people that are allergic to peanuts. I'm not. There are people that are allergic to certain things that I'm not. So we have to believe that certain things that are happening to you by nature that did not happen to me, that you could not control. A motherfucker wanting to stick his dick in a kid, ain't no one. Who wants to do that? By nature, who wants to do that? So something is wrong. I could believe it, okay? Maybe not you were born that way, but something happened along the way that you grew into that. That's what you are. And I'm fine with that. I never stopped being a woman that would protect her fucking children. So fine. If you want to be given your rights for sticking your dick in a 4-year-old because that's what you were born to do, I was naturally born to protect a 4-year-old. Go ahead. Because I should be by right let off every time I kill one of you motherfuckers. Because by nature I was born to nurture and protect children. It never changed. So give them their rights. Go ahead. As soon as I see you with a 4-year-old, I'm going to pluck your ass off. And go into the courtroom and say, Your Honor, I can't help it. I was born this way.
Now, on that note, like,
it's the same fucking
I see your logic. All right. So I see that, like, we obviously are gonna have to do a part 2 and a part 3 and a part 4 because I appreciate your opinion. It's a very interesting one. And we there's a couple topics that we didn't get to touch on that we definitely are going to do. But number one, I want to thank you for coming out. You have a unique soul. Number one, if anybody wants to check out Quibee, I'm gonna put your information in the bio, and they can check you out. No doubt about it. She's a talented singer. She actually has a lot to put in as far, and we'll talk about that next time. Like, shorty grows her own food. She's a self-starter. So thank you for being a part of this. And this was the Tempo Podcast.
I mean, he called up though. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut him off. He told me short like a motherfucker. I grow my own food. I sew. I do hair. I sing. A bitch can bust a motherfucker break dance and be paying enough for it. Okay.
Next time, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get in, this is another one. We don't have time, but like next time we're gonna get into relationships too, because you have a very interesting take on polygamy and monogamy that I think should be discussed. So anyway, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you, Quibee, for coming out. We're gonna holler at y'all. All right. All right. Equivalency. That's all we're gonna call this joint. False equivalency. Because if she would have gotten to these false equivalencies.
No. Listen.
Come on, man.
Listen. You just made a statement.
Go.
You just said. What did you just say?
What I was saying was we talking about like medication. All right. So what I'm saying is that it's so funny how motherfuckers, especially this whole back to Africa, nothing but organic roots and shit like that. That's what I'm saying. No, let me finish.
They got
You talking about
that shit wasn't no, but we ain't gotta go 100 years ago. My grandmama and them was doing this shit.
Nah, I ain't trying to hear all that though. See this,
shit.
and this is my problem. This is my problem though. This is my problem with the. I understand the naturalistic route, but this is my problem with this shit. Cause what motherfuckers try to do is with the whole. The naturalistic, holistic people, what they try to do is, I understand you have a point that there are things that teach you all this. I'm not talking about. Let me finish. Let me finish though. No. Let me finish. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you.
You a whole natural nigga.
Whatever. Anyway, let me finish. What I'm saying is that what y'all try to do is disregard science and medical engineering as if it means nothing.
No.
But the first one, guess what? They have a heart attack though. When motherfuckers have a heart attack, all of a sudden now it's back to science.
Fucking die.
Now, hey, look, but them the first ones in the hospital. Like, hey, look. I'm saying, hey, look. I know I'm holistic, but I might need heart surgery, so I'm gonna listen to your science for a second.
Change the whole argument.
No, the argument is that some pharmaceuticals. The argument was that we was talking about me being on Adderall. That was the whole thing. Now
we were talking about the reason you were on Adderall.
Because I have a form of ADHD that makes sense that Adderall helps it out. That's a fact. That's not no bullshit. That's a fact. And guess what? And then I'm gonna tell you how it's a fact. This is why it's true.
Where did ADHD come from?
Number one, it's been there for my whole life. Now, mind you, we're gonna get into all
where the fuck did it come from?
No, it's been like the hyper, whatever. I don't even remember how that shit go.
Hyper-attention.
Huh?
Hyper-attention.
What?
Hyper-attention, bro.
No, that's not what it's called.
But,
Old folks, you know what the old folks used to call it? Chasing butterflies.
Man, hey, look, I'm not. Look, this is my point. This is my whole fucking point. No, exactly. But I have a problem keeping focused. So if there's a medicine, just like if you fucking get burnt, just like if you have an infection.
Nigga, you ain't burnt.
No, shut. I'm not though. But listen, what I'm saying. You're not trying to be. Let me finish my point though. Can I finish my point?
Yes.
My point. Let me finish my point. My point is, motherfucking, when we have an infection or when we have something medically going on with our body, it's all, especially when let's say I'm debating holistic people and people that believe in natural herbs and shit like that. When we're talking about that, like, you know what I'm saying, when you have some infection or whatever the case may be comes with your body, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's all good to take medication in. But when you have something that, let's say with ADHD, that you have a problem focusing and there's a medicine that you could use to focus, now all of a sudden, oh, you don't need that shit. You don't need that shit. That's the pharmaceutical companies trying to get up in your pockets. I'm gonna tell you like this. I would believe that shit if that shit didn't help me out 100-fold. I'm talking about like you see that book. That's me writing down everything that I have to. That's me becoming a more organized, conscientious person because all these thoughts in my head, they were already there. But guess what? Certain medication helps me focus on that. Okay, it helps me focus on that. So you can try to dismiss it as if I could have figured that shit out on my own.
I'm not dismissing it.
But essentially you are.
Okay, essentially, yeah, I still am.
Essentially you are. Okay, so just say I'm dismissing it. I'm dismissing it, nigga.
You listen. What you need for that conversation is a Becky going, it's okay.
Man, that shit. And that's why motherfuckers be like, that's why it's all these memes talking about, black parents, psychological problems. No. What is that? That's that white shit?
You know what my problem, that is some white shit.
Man,
you know what
fuck out of here.
I'm asking, my question is, what happens when the Adderall runs out? What happens when there's no more Adderall? What happens when 5 years from now, they got a motherfucker, Hertz and Marshall commercial, if you've taken Adderall and you've had thoughts of suicide and you killed your whole fucking family, what happens when you can no longer take Adderall?
Look,
that's all I'm asking. Because we had a conversation.
No,
listen, here again, you about to do it. I let you talk.
All right.
What happens when there's no more Adderall? Because here you just explained earlier when we just talked to this brother earlier about smoking blunts versus smoking the papers and you putting funnel in and shit like that. If we're fucking getting off heroin by taking methadone, what the fuck is the purpose? Why didn't you just stay on fucking heroin? I'm asking you, after the Adderall, when there's no Adderall available, what are you going to do? And what are you teaching your children when you say, and again, You sounded like one of these transgender motherfuckers. You not being able to focus on something ain't got a motherfucking thing to do with a nigga dick burning. That's some shit that need to be addressed now. Nigga, you got enough time to get your fucking mind right. My dick burning right now is something totally different. That's a damn hell of a good false equivalency. Let me finish.
All you do is false equivalency.
Well, did I just now?
Yes.
That was a false equivalency. You said you compared you taking Adderall because you need to focus to the same as somebody getting sick or terminally ill and going to the doctor.
Absolutely.
So you don't think that that's a mental or a chemical imbalance that you can control without taking medication?
That would just be like telling somebody that schizophrenia is a
it's just like telling. Okay, well again, just like I'm saying with you, and it is the dumbest shit. People say stuff like holistic people or you natural people. All you motherfuckers are natural. You just doing dumb, unnatural shit. You came from the earth. Every fucking cure for it is in your body. Some of those medications came from the earth. I get it. Penicillin, we all take penicillin because we know where it came from. We're saying that
all right, so but that's my whole point.
Can I finish? Go ahead. We were talking specifically on Adderall. Okay. We're getting into now mental and physical. We're now putting mental and physical disorders in the same boat. They're not the same. Me catching an infection or bacteria or something like that, and there's something that gets rid of it right now. We're talking about something. It's not the same thing. If I catch gonorrhea, I take something that flushes it out of my system. I don't have to take it no more.
Same thing.
It's not.
If I have a problem concentrating, I take something now I can concentrate. That's the same.
You're gonna have forever. You're gonna. So am I gonna plan? Who the fuck is catching gonorrhea every month? You fucking lose concentration every day.
Look, we are.
Am I gonna take? That's something you. What I'm saying is you're comparing to something that you don't have to take for the rest of your life. Which is the same as people taking high blood pressure medication instead of changing their fucking diet. That's not the same as somebody having to take medication for something that they were actually born with and they can't control. You can actually control that shit, and you gonna sit here and try to you gonna attack the motherfucker growing it.
All right, I mean somebody been struggling with for years. All right, look. This is a great topic, and we're going to talk about it.
Doesn't mean you
I gotta go to the next joint, but thank you. We are gonna talk about it.
No, nigga, you don't get to cut me.
No.
No.
We're done.